Welcome back, everyone. I'm Zell, and today we've got an unbagging. Yes, guys, that's what it is. Whenever you order a knife from this particular brand, you get it in a bag in a nice little pouch. It is a model LMD GSD, and we should probably get it out of the bag, huh? Makes it easy. Just, you know, your little Ziploc baggie. And what do we have? Liong Mah Designs. Ooh. If you guys don't know, I have become a pretty big fan of Liong Mah's stuff. I have the Endeavor, and we'll see some more Liong Mah stuff around the channel here pretty soon. But that Endeavor has really, it's captured me. I like that knife a lot. So let's see what's in this one. We have the nice little pouch, and inside the pouch, well, I guess it doesn't matter which side we got. We have our Liong Mah Designs card, contact info to get a hold of Liong Mah Designs. We've got a silky sack, and the silky sack says Liong Mah Designs on it, so well branded everywhere. And we have the little towel, and it apparently says Liong Mah Designs on it too. So Liong has taken the opportunity to brand everything, and he even sends you this. And that's pretty cool. And check this out, guys. See this? They put a backing on the Velcro patch so that it doesn't stick to everything down in here. Nice touch, Liong. That's very nice. So let's get this knife out of here and see what we've got. And what we have out of the next little plastic pouch, and we're not going to open it yet, we have a g.s.d. Alright, so let's get a look at this g.s.d. from Liong Mah. And I've talked to Liong himself, and this is what he calls a get shit done. So that's what we're going to call it. We're not going to use the CRKT wussified name of get stuff done, because this is the original. And what do you get with the original? Well, you get some of this crushed carbon fiber, and I'm not sure exactly what. It's a basic pattern that really looks like it's been crushed, so I don't know. And we've got some orange peel on the titanium, and that's just beautiful. Comes out very, very nice. We've got a short back spacer, leaves about half open here, and just a little raise there so that you've got that jimping to hold on to. A very basic pocket clip, which this is a very get stuff done, get shit done pointed knife. So it's not all style. It's got some very serious aspects to it too, and like this pocket clip. And note on the pocket clip, it is tip up, left or right hand on whichever side you're not using. You've got a nice screw there that has a little plate behind it to cover your hole. And speaking of the hardware, this is one of the beautiful things about Liong's designs. He takes hardware into consideration, and he gets good hardware with deep recesses. And that's important. It's something that whenever we had that little CRK small Sabenza and Singo, I should have mentioned. Every one of the screws on that knife, they were Allen, but they had plenty of depth to stick that wrench down in there. Same thing here. Liong has chosen some very nice screws for this knife. And I appreciate the maker thinking about things like that. So anyhow, whenever we're closed up, we're approximately, well, we'll just get the calipers out and get an actual measurement, because this knife's not going to be around for long. I get 4.385 on my calipers, and we'll go for a thickness. So we got 0.5505 for a thickness. Very nice and very close to those magic numbers of a ½ inch for the thickness. So fairly compact. We'll get a weight on it real quick. Yeah, I know you guys want to see the blade, and I'm putting that off, ain't I? In grams, we've got 118. Ounces, 4.16. Carats, 590. I don't know why we'd measure in carats, but I just thought it was neat to say. So let's get a look at that blade. And whenever we get a look at the blade, we have kind of a spear point affair, and it is a beautiful one. I do have one issue with the blade, and that's the edge termination. And come on, Liong, give us a true edge termination instead of stopping it like that. I don't know. I just hate that. I've talked to Toshi Barusha about that on one of his knives as well. It's just not a beautiful thing. Whenever we get an edge termination, our edge termination should be coming out like this, where we've got that edge all the way to the back of something, a ricasso, a sharpening choil, something. In that case, we've got a forward finger choil, but whatever the case may be, it needs an actual place to terminate. And I don't know, I just don't like that. Now, one of the other things I've heard people griping about with this knife is our sawtooth looking jimping up there across the top on this beautiful swedge. I'm not going to complain about it. Now, I've got all calloused up thumbs, so it's not hurting my thumbs. Would it hurt your thumbs? Well, I don't know. It might. But for me, it's going to be fine. Another issue I've heard about is people saying that this area right through here is too thin. Okay, let's think about this. If you're holding your knife like this and you're beating on something, you're doing it wrong. Even if you're holding it like this and you're beating on things, you're doing it wrong. This is a $400 and some knife. What was it? $425 knife. If you're beating on things like that, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong if it's a $5 knife. Well, maybe not with a $5 knife, but anything above 20 bucks, you're doing it wrong. So it's S35VN. It's a good steel. I don't see this being an issue. However, some people like to complain, and they got to find something to complain about. And hell, I like to complain. I have to find things to complain about. And now whenever we go to action, I have a feeling, yep, we got something I'm going to complain about. We got this flipper tab, and it's well done. Get a look at that. That is a well done little flipper tab. And it's also your lock interface right there. And the problem with it is it puts you in a light switch situation, which is fine. I don't mind light switching. But whenever you light switch this guy, you light switch it and you don't have any place for your index finger to land. And whenever I have a knife that is going to be light switched, or going to force me into light switching, I like to have that place to land. And what do I mean by that place to land? Okay, so we got a hinderer here, and we've got this big, nasty, not terribly aggressive jimping across the top. You don't light switch a hinderer, but you flick that guy open, and you have a place that's indexed for your thumb to land. And by indexed, it means it tells your index finger, I said thumb, it's your index finger, where to stop. And yeah, you see the little piece of steri strip. And whenever you're a knife guy, you end up cutting your freaking fingers. And have some steri strips around because they kick ass for those little bitty cuts that you need to just close up and forget about. Anyhow, that landing strip right there tells you where your index finger needs to stop. And this knife does not have that at all. It's smooth across the back. Now, is it a huge deal? No, but it's just one of those details that I wish that Liong had taken care of. And it's an easy to do thing. We've thought about it. We've looked at other knife designs, and whenever we do, this is a Master Chief from Todd Knife and Tool. We'll talk about it very soon. But even though we don't really need that landing pad because of the shape here, we still mill in an indexing point. And what I mean by indexing point is it's a place where your index finger knows it's time to stop. It's a landing pad. It's just like, we'll talk about this one whenever we do. There's lots of that little indexing on this knife. But if Liong had taken about right here and milled out that little area right there, kind of like we did, or some mild jimping right there, it would have given you that indexing point. And because you got a light switch it, that would have been nice. Now, if you've got a knife that puts you in the push button, it's not as big a deal. You know, like our Endeavor here, another Liong Mah knife, is a push button. It doesn't have any of that stuff either, but because you're pushing into the knife, it's not a big deal, and that's because of the way the geometry of the flipper tab puts you in a push button situation. The geometry of this flipper tab puts you in a light switching situation. Anyhow, that's my gripe there. Overall though, wow guys, it is just a fine little knife, and action wise, I mean, look at that. It's a little guillotine, and that's right out of the bag. Anyhow, ergonomics. Ergonomically, this guy is very good. You know, it's that same thing we've talked about a lot. Very simple handle design equates to a knife that you can get a hold of the way you want to, and you don't have any major fusses between hand sizes and the such. You know, and that's what we've got here. Just a little swell, a little curve here. Now, the one thing that I'm not really hot on is our curve here could have been a little more severe. And I say that because even though this is a get shit done, this is a utility knife, and that's its purpose, if we do have to shred that nasty box that comes out of the alley on our way home to get safely home, I like to have a little less smooth right here and a little more abrupt so that I've got something to ensure I don't do this and end up you know, needing more of those steri strips. Because if I need to shred that box on the way home, I need to do it as safely as I possibly can for myself. And right there's something I want to talk about that, you know, we've got the light switching action. We've got the flicking action, and there we go. And my left hand, yep, it's going to do it. So what I want to say about that is you've got 3 different options to open it. They all work good. And old Nick Shabazz would have a Shabazgasm about this blade hole because it is sharp. Now, I'm not going to. I want it to stay sharp, and I want it to stay sharp for this reason. Because of the way the knife fits down in the handle, nice and tight, if I go like this and I had that edge all chamfered off, I wouldn't be able to get a hold of it. But because I have a fairly sharp edge there to get a bite on, I can get a hold of it whenever I go to flick it. Because it's sharp, I can get a bite on it. If it was chamfered any at all, I wouldn't be able to do that. So that's Liong thinking for you, even though he knows that old Shabazz is going to have a fit. So overall, guys, wow, we didn't even look at the centering. I just assumed it'd be perfect, and it is. This little Liong Mah Get Shit Done, or g.s.d, is a great little knife in my opinion. Now, I'm not going to have time to do a full review on this because this one is getting shipped off to Seth down in Texas within a few days. I'm going to give it a nice edge and send it his way. It's his knife. It just stopped by here for a little wicked edge or KMEing, and so that we'd have a chance to look at it here on the channel and then send it on down his way. And we will slap her in the pocket real quick. Almost forgot that. And, you know, there you go. It could be a little deeper in the pocket, but I'm not going to complain because it doesn't seem to want to have that fulcrum effect that we get out of some knives. And, of course, that's going to depend on how tight or loose your pants are and what kind of moving around you do. But we seem to have plenty of spring tension. And get our little Liong Mah card back out here. We've got some space under that clip, so it should work in all your work pants and all that sort of thing, which it should because it's a g.s.d, right? And overall, guys, I think this g.s.d is going to be great. It's not really the knife for me, but Seth is excited about getting it, and I can see why. Because for a left-hand utility knife, or that person that needs a small knife, even one that could float in their pocket. Now, we saw it is a little heavy for floating in the pocket, but even back pocket, you're going to have a substantial knife with good blade steel, a good, nice, feels like a thin grind. We'll check that out right quick. It helps if you turn on the calipers. It's not real thin. We're at about 37 thousandths. That's a little thick, but in that case, then we're going to have, it's not going to be a super slicer, but it's going to be a knife that you can just get stuff done with, or get shit done with, and that's what it's all about. Anyhow, guys, this has been the Liong Mah GSD, or Get Shit Done, and it is a beautiful little knife. My only gripes, right there, that edge termination and the lack of an indexing point on the top of the knife. Other than that, this thing is just beautiful. I love that crushed carbon fiber they're using there. That is just awesome. Anyhow, guys, you have a great day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Get out there and get some shit done, and I'll see you next time.